Hello all you fellow Reddit fans. This is the I Just Reddit channel. We have a story from Surviving Infidelity today. This one is about a man whose wife abandoned him and their son to run off with the neighbor's husband. Now 10 years later, she wants her family back. Spelling and grammar errors, courtesy of Reddit. Lol. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This story is titled, Ex-wife left for affair partner and returned after 10 years and asks me to take her back. Update after comments. A few notes, I have missed a lot of the details to tell you guys. First is that I have divorced her before marrying M. I think she didn't know as she was nowhere to be located. Second is that I have written L instead of M by mistake. I had full custody of my son as X was nowhere in the picture, but now she is back, so I don't know if my full custody will be maintained or not. Seeking advice on how to handle the situation. Me, 34 male, my ex-wife, 35 female, call her X, my neighbor, affair partner, my neighbor's wife, 37 female, call her M. Me and my wife married in 2009. We had our baby in 2010. In November of 2010, while she was asleep, a message popped up on her phone and it was a flirty message. I checked on her phone and it was from our neighbor. I went through every single message, which included sexting, sharing nudes, and they even had planned meetups at hotels. This was going on from the first week of our marriage. I felt like my world crumbled in front of me. I took screenshots of every message and saved them on my phone. Next day I contacted M and let her know about the affair. They were married for 4 years and had their first baby almost the exact same time as we had ours. I confronted my wife and told her that I am going to give her a divorce. She started crying and everything else, but I did not care about it. I also did a paternity test on our child, son, because the affair timeline was the same as the conception date. After 2 days, when I came home from work, our baby was crying in our bed and X was nowhere to be seen. Then I found a letter from her telling me that she did not love me, and she had left with the affair partner and to not contact them. I knew this was coming, but I didn't believe that a mother can leave her child, was about 6 months, alone and can run off with her lover. I then went to M's house. She had received the same letter from her husband. I felt sorry for her as she was going through postpartum depression, had her baby just a few months ago and was left alone. Also, the paternity test results came back, and he was my son. I tried to contact X family, but they also didn't know where she was and was shocked by her behavior. Her father even said that if she ever came back, she would not be allowed to enter their house. They basically disowned her. L was very supportive. She began coming to my home to watch the kids and even breastfed both of them, hers and mine. As time passed, we were like a family. My son called her mom and had known only her as mom. We also decided to go on dates. We got engaged a year later and married in 2013. We had our first child in 2015. We often discussed things about our exes and how we were often disrespected by them. We were a happy family. In 2018, when my son accidentally saw a picture of my ex picture after birth, so it included X, me and him, we decided to tell him that her birth mother X had died in a car accident years ago. And L took care of him since he was 6 months old. Fast forward to 2 days ago, I received an anonymous email. I opened it and it read, I want to see my son and want my family back. We are not divorced yet. I knew it was X. I showed this to L. L started freaking out and asked me if I would take her back. I calmed her down and told her that she was an ugly past and I would never leave M. I would never take her back. Now I am confused what to do. I will definitely not take her back, but should I let her meet my son or not? Should I deny my son's opportunity to have a connection with his birth mother? Comment 1. Absolutely not. She was toxic 10 years ago and obviously hasn't changed. She will end up hurting all of you so much more than she already had. No. Coming from a child abandoned by their mother who only showed up every 3 years because stepbrother's dad tried to convince her she needed to be part of my life. Comment 2. I've been in a family dynamic similar to this. In my experience, it would do more harm to your son than good. When he is 18, you can tell him the whole story and let him decide. As an adult, your ex made the decision to leave. If you truly did get a divorce, I would fight with everything I have to maintain custody. She left. You stayed. She's holding on to the past. You're building a new future. She is not going to be a part of your future story. When the time is right, you can give the choice to your son. Comment 3. 1. Telling the kids that your ex died is wrong. You should never have done that. Your son, and likely your other kids, will need therapy, or at the very least, you should consult a psychologist to get advice regarding how to tell them the truth. The more you lie, the likelier he will eventually go live with her and believe whatever excuse she gives him. 2. Assuming you have an actual judgment that gives you full custody, you can ignore her communication entirely or get a lawyer to send her a letter saying visitation is not in the child's best interest. You can then either wait for her to file in court asking for visitation, or you can proactively attempt to have her parental rights terminated, perhaps also having his actual mother adopt him. Child support doesn't usually have an impact on custody, but a reminder that she has not paid child support for 10 years and that there are still many years left where it should be due can help as well. However, only through formal lawyer letter, not by responding directly. 3. You might not be able to prevent visitations from happening. At the very least, ask for a very slow progression with short visits supervised by a social worker or psychologist. 4. Did your wife's ex-husband reappear as well? Expect that he might show up too. 5. Don't panic. Comment 4. If you do decide to let her see your son, I would have her go through your lawyers. You want to make sure you and your family are protected, and that if she does see him, it's supervised and set up regularly so she's not coming into your son's life like a wrecking ball and causing him all kinds of grief and confusion. Comment 5. Therapist here. Don't lie to your kids about things like this. And the lie you chose was awful. If she's not, she can show and expose your lie. And it sounds like that's exactly what she is going to do. Here is my advice, non-professional: tell your kid the truth. Get a lawyer for you and Elle right now. She is entitled to custody. She can go to the school, the doctor, wherever, because it's all legal until family court says otherwise. Once you have a lawyer, go to court, establish abandonment, get sole physical and legal custody. Prepare for a fight, you might be facing one. Prepare for her to show up. This means you warn the school, daycare. Warn your family. Warn your neighbors, your church, your soccer coach, and your pediatrician. Delete all of your social media accounts. It doesn't matter if they're private, they're not safe. Put her family on an information diet. Put everyone on an information diet. Do not let anyone see your kids unsupervised. Make sure the kids really know not to talk to strangers. Her family may accept her back and try to help her. This is not going to go away until you make it go away. Update. Thank you for so much response. A lot has happened since the last time. Also, I didn't want to post an update as many people in the comments thought it was fake, but still to this day, I am getting messages for an update, so I decided to update you all. So, let's start by saying that we didn't require courts or a lawyer. Some of you claimed that she would have no parental rights over my son as she had abandoned us years ago. To confirm the claim, I contacted my friend, who is a lawyer, and confirmed that she could face heavy fines, termination of parental rights, and jail. I told him about the time period of abandonment and asked what were the chances of winning in my case. He told me that if a parent fails to contact a child in person for over a year, 99% of the time, she is given a termination of parental rights. I had a sigh of relief after hearing those words. I also joined therapy with my son, so that I could tell him the truth about his biological mother. Also, I wanted to find out why she had contacted me after 10 years, so I messaged her father, who is still a good friend of mine and gives me good advice, whether X contacted his family or not. Turns out that she had contacted her sister for money time to time for the last 10 years, but now her sister is not willing to help her as she keeps asking for a bit more money. I asked him about her condition and whether introducing her to my son would be a good idea or not. He answered by saying, she just has a minimum wage job and lives in small apartment with 3 roommates. By listening to him say that, I felt bad for her, but she earned it. He said that she would be a bad influence on our son, so it's better not to introduce him to X. Next, I called her sister and asked her what their conversations were like over the past 10 years. She told me everything. How X contacted her only for money because after paying rent, she had no money left for groceries and other utilities. X never asked about my son but only for money. I asked her about relationship between X and affair partner, to which she replied, he has been in prison for sexual assault since 2015. I don't know why, but I felt happy upon hearing this news. I asked her whether X knows about the divorce or not. She said X has no idea about the divorce, and she still thinks that we are legally married. I asked her to tell X about everything: divorce, child custody, my new family, and that she has no right over my son. I told everything about it to M, and she was a bit surprised by X's behavior. She never thought that a mother can be so careless towards her own child. She was shocked to hear the news about affair partner too. It's been 30 days and X has not contacted us. Family counseling is going great, and we have decided to legally adopt one another's kids. I don't think X will contact us, as her sister might have told her about her position in the case legally, and that she would just waste money by hiring an attorney. If something happens, I'll update you guys. Thank you so very much for listening. Please check out my other videos and like and subscribe.